All right, everybody, to get started today, I want you guys to turn to page 67 in your books. Once you do so, go ahead and take a look at this next slide. And we're going to talk about time that we have. So in your notes, go ahead and make a sheet with 3 different columns. And in that first column, you can see that there's a clock, which is about your time. How are you spending your time? And when you do so, I want you guys to take about the next 60 seconds to write down 10 to 15 things in your normal everyday week. So not here while you're on study abroad, but back home on campus. What are the top 10 to 15 things that you do every single week? This isn't for a grade. Please be honest. We can talk about, let's be honest, you guys are going to be having Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, all of these things are going to be on there. So go ahead and write these. This is just for your own personal use. So take some time to do so. All right. So now that you guys have done that, we're going to talk about money. So again, every single week, what are you doing with your money? How are you budgeting? What are the top 5, 10, 15 things that you spend your money on every week? Again, be totally honest. This is just for your own personal use. So, I mean, what do you spend your money on? Are you spending it on food? Are you spending it on going out to the movies with your friends? Whatever you choose, write it down in one of your columns. So there's your top 2. So those are your 2 things that you're writing in the first sections of your columns. Again, please be honest on all of these. This is just for your personal use. All right, so today we are going to be talking about values and why do we value values. As we've said in some of our lessons in the past, we want to talk about how understanding yourself before you can lead others. It's such an important thing. You cannot lead others to go someplace unless you're understanding yourself, first of all. So the 2 most important things that are major parts of understanding yourself are understanding what your strengths and your core values are. So what are your strengths and what are your core values? And today we're going to be talking about values. So values are important. Everyone has values. Organizations have values. They post them everywhere. Think about the last time you walked into Chick-fil-A. Their mission statement is right as soon as you walk in. So your different organizations are posting them on their walls. They've got them in their manager's office. They're in every single meeting that you might have. Marketers are spending billions of dollars to find out what our values are. Like, they want to know how and why we have the values that we have. Your parents back home, your friends, your church, or even the people around you, they're trying to shape your values. They want to know that as you grow, what your values are, and they want to have had a hand in that. And then furthermore, businesses are trying to align their values with our values so that we're purchasing the products that they would like us to purchase. So with all of these values, why are we valuing them? Like, what is the value of values? So what are values in general? Value is a total buzzword. If you're in any kind of meeting, if you're in school, your professor is going to be talking about, oh, these are the values that we want you to learn. This is what we have. They're going to talk about it. What are your values? Give me some examples. Yeah, okay, totally. Integrity. I value the fact that I have integrity in my work and in my daily life. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, of course. Being honest. Being honest is incredibly important and really ties in with integrity as well. Punctuality. Yeah, that would have been nice earlier today, hun. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, punctuality is really important. Is it something that you value? Does it change the way that you view people? All right, so now that we've got a couple of examples, let's talk about values as a verb. Why do businesses have values? I mean, we talked a little bit about how they're trying to align themselves with us and our thoughts, but what is it important for? Like, why do they have them? Who influences our values? Like, your daily values and what you have in your life, what's influencing them? Is it those businesses? Is it your family? What's happening? So we're going to do a little bit of a group discussion here. So let's talk about why are these businesses having value issues? Yeah, of course, they want us to know that what they're selling, we're wanting to buy. So values are totally necessary there. What about where you guys grew up? We're all from all over the place. I'm from Georgia, so deep south. My values are going to be a little bit different than here that we see overseas. How different are those values from the values that you see here every single day? Not only that, not just the United States. Think about the different places you grew up. The South is going to have a different set of values than possibly the North would, or even further west. Does that make a difference in your personal behavior? Do you think that the values that you have can change the way that you view the world? I mean, let's talk about this a little bit. All right, so we're going to talk about values versus vision. What are the differences between the two? So vision is going to be how you live your life, like how you're looking to do so. And values are going to be so vision is where we're going in life. And values are going to be how we get there. So when you're looking out, where do you want to be? What do you want to see yourself as? Those values are going to help you make the decisions that get you to where you want to go with your visions. And there's a lot of reasons why these values matter. Today, we want to identify the values that are important to us. What's important to you guys? I want to dig deeper into these thoughts. I don't want us to just think, what's the first thing that comes off the top of our head. Let's really dig deep into what our own personal core values are. I mean, what do you guys want out of life? And the values that you have, they're going to direct you to where you want to go. And that direction leads directly into vision, which is where you'd like to be. So I want you guys to think a little bit about it, go deep into what your values actually are. So this next bit, gonna get a little personal, and it's for you guys yourselves. So you've all got 5 sheets of paper, pass them all out for you guys. And on these 5 sheets of paper, I want y'all to write down one value that matters to you on each of these sheets of paper. And what I consider a value, you might not consider a value, so everyone's gonna have different ones. But at the same time, some of you are gonna have similar words. Perhaps family is a personal value for you guys, but what does family mean to you versus what family means to me? So instead of just writing one word on these, go ahead and define in one sentence what that value means to you. So family, so making sure that my family is healthy and happy is an important value to me. So, but perhaps for someone else, it's family, it's going to be making sure that their family is profitable or that their family is different or unique. So make sure that you go ahead and define that. And if you guys want to turn to page 68 in your books, you're more than welcome to. There's a short list of values there for y'all so that y'all can look at them and see some examples of what you might want to use there. So I'm going to guys give you a few minutes there. And again, these are for your own personal use. So go ahead and be honest and write down what you personally value. Not what I value, but what you value. He's nice. I personally prefer the hanging on kitty. Just hold on. But hold these 5 values that you have. So keep a hold to them. Hold on to them really tight. These are so important. These are your anchors. These are what anchor you to life, to your vision, to your values. These are the things that you are going to use as a lens to view the entire world, how you're seeing each and every person inside of it. Not only that, these are going to be the pillars that keep everything upright in your life. How important are these 5 values to you? Incredibly important. So are you holding on tight? All right. Now I want you guys to throw 2 away. Just 2. Throw 2 away. Okay, get it. Oh, I don't know. Okay, throw 2 away. So now that you've got rid of those 2 values, but were they not important to you? Why did you choose these precious 3 values to hold on to? What's so special about these 3 that made you decide it was necessary? Personally, again, these are the anchors that are holding me to where I want to be, what I want to do. They're the lens through which I view the world. I'm seeing people through the lens of my values. And then on top of that, these are the pillars that are keeping me upright and my life going. So I've got 3 of these. Throw away 1 more, guys. Go ahead. 1 more. Okay. 2 left. What's so special about these 2 values? Are these the focus of your life? are these the main lenses. You've got your eyeglasses on, and these are the lenses through which you view the world. These are the two crutches that prop you up in life. They're your values. What's so special about them? Right? Ready? One more. Gotta get rid of one more. Okay. So now that we're down to our last value, go ahead. Like, you've got your one single value. So you guys have done great so far. But let's do a little bit of a brain dump. So go ahead and get a new sheet of paper out. And I want you guys to write a little bit down for these questions. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds for each question to write a little something down, and we're going to see where we're going. All right, so first of all, what are you feeling right now? Like, how did it feel having to narrow your way through the special visions of your life? Like, what's so special about this? How's it feel? What are you feeling? Go ahead and take a minute to write that down. So now that you've done that, which values did you throw away? What made you decide that those values were not the most important value in your life? So which values was it? How did it feel? Like, throwing those values away? It's painful. I mean, think about how that felt, having to throw that value away in your life. That's gone. What if we thought about it like that every day? What if you're thinking, are you putting away your values on a Saturday night when you know you have to wake up the next morning and write a paper, but you want to go out, and what are you doing? Like, did you throw that value away? Did you have that same feeling that you felt just now? How do you feel right now? And then what's the single value that you kept? Why did you keep that one value? What's so important about it? In fact, why is it so important that we define and write down these values? I mean, I know that I preach writing everything down, because if not, you never know if you'll remember it again. But values? Like, why is it so important to define them? All right, so let's go on. Well, defining values gives our life purpose. It makes us think about what we're doing in the world. When you have values, it gives you a point from which you can spring into the next part of your life. It gives you a set of values for purpose that you use every single day. So defining those gives us purpose. Imagine living a life where you had no values, where the only point that you have is to be going through and dealing with someone else's values. You're living your life by someone else's thoughts, someone else's dreams. Does that not make you feel empty? I mean, I personally know that using my values to get myself through life is what gives me a sense of fulfillment, a sense of achievement every single day. If I didn't have those, I mean, would you feel empty? Would you feel a bit lost? Values give you that purpose that you're looking for. So that's one of the first reasons that it's important to define and write down our values. All right? Next. Values give us confidence and accountability. You have got these things written down. They are written down on your sheets of paper. I mean, you know now what you value. What's the most important thing to you? And when you write them on a social media site, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, you're creating accountability for yourself. I personally, when I was looking to change careers, it was something that I decided needed to be out there. I needed other people to know so that I could hold those values closer to myself. I wanted to go out and move into a career that I found fulfilling. And to do so, it's like I moved on. I got out of where I was stagnant, and moved on. And the accountability that writing down my values gave me was so important. What are these values that you're writing down? What changes are they going to make in your life? All right, and then the third reason that it's so important to write down these values is that values, defining them makes life simpler. I can take these values, and these values are decision makers for me. I'm going through, I'm looking at these, I'm thinking, what am I doing with my life today? Is this aligning with my values that I have? Is this making a difference in how I feel? If I'm putting aside my values, how do I feel about that? It helps make decisions easier, having those values written down for your perusal every single day. All right, so what happens when your values and your actions don't align, when they're not put together? As a leader, you need to live your values. You've written them down, you've defined them, you're holding yourself accountable to your values. If values are just words, they're absolutely worthless. I mean, imagine that you have someone at home, a professor, who says that if you're not on time, you'll be losing a point every single time that you walk into class. Well, what if he's 10 minutes late? You lose respect. You lose trust. Another person who says that they want to spend their time with family. They don't spend enough of it. And yet, when they're with family, they're constantly with their faces in their phones. I mean, I think that affects like how I feel. It affects team morale, especially in a team setting. And as a leader, what we're trying to focus on, if you are not living your values are worthless as the paper that they're written on. So think about that. What happens when your values and your actions don't align? Says Santa Claus. So is our values aligning with Santa Claus? It's easy to point out discrepancies in celebrities, major people, and how, what they say versus how they're acting, because their lives are under intense scrutiny. But for you guys, a wise man once said that your values can be seen by how you really spend your time and your money. So go ahead and take out that list that we did at the beginning. So your 3 different columns. You've got how you spend your time, you've got how you spend your money. Are those values aligning? Are those aligning with the values that we wrote down? I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes to write down your values for yourselves in a minute. But look at those values. Are they aligning up? Is there something that you need to change in how you spend your time and your money back home? All right, so now that you've got your list out, we're gonna give you a few minutes. So in your 3rd column, go ahead and write down your values. This is for you, so no more throwing things in the trash. But yeah, so write down your values and define them. Use them so that you know what that value means to you. I find it's best to keep yourself to 3 or 5 values because the more values that you have, the harder it is to leverage these for decision making. So if you have 3 or 5 values, you can go through in the questions that you have in life for your decisions. You can leverage those values to see what you do today, every single day. All right, guys. So these are some of your values that you might have. So my core values, possibly integrity. So honoring my commitments, my family. Who are the people that matter in your life? So make sure that you have all of that written down for you guys in your little notebooks. And then finally, a little bit of a wrap up for us today. Remember that your values matter. And not only do they matter, but you should live them each and every single day. Know your values, define your values, and then live your values. We're going to talk some more about this as we continue on throughout our lessons, but just remember how you felt. What were your emotions when you threw away those values that you had in the middle? How were you feeling? What were you feeling? And remember, if you have your values and you've defined them, you should be living them every day, and you don't want to feel the way that you felt when you threw those away. So, values matter. All right, guys, so now we're done for the day. We're gonna be heading out to our next lesson. So go ahead and grab your books, grab your notebooks, and we're gonna be making our way out.